Good evening and welcome to Destination Douglasville Live. I'm going to be doing a series of live streams almost the entire month of March. So Thursday at 6 p.m., join me. This Thursday, we're going to talk about moving to Douglasville. Next Thursday, we're going to talk about selling in Douglasville. On the following Thursday, number 3, we are going to talk about some of the Douglasville neighborhoods. And then number 4, we're going to talk about just some other activities going on in spring and open it up to any questions. So as you join me, because I know people are coming into the chat, hopefully, this is our first time doing this like for 4 different lives. I've done 2 lives and they're still on my channel now. But thank you for joining me in advance, or thank you for watching the replay of this video. But again, if you miss me this time, please catch me one of those other lives. And if you want to comment on this video and have a question, I will answer it for sure in the comments. So let's get right into it. This is all about moving to Douglasville. If this is your first time on the channel or you've watched the channel before, my husband and I live in Douglasville. Our children are in Douglasville. Of course, they go to Douglas County School. So we try to do videos to kind of educate people that are moving here or people that already live here about what's going on in Douglasville and Douglas County. So I want to go over some data points really quickly for the month of February, because as we enter the spring market, this is what you probably can expect in Douglasville. And of course, I'm sorry, my name is Shahida Hill, and I've been a licensed realtor since 2003. All right, so our average sales price in Douglasville for February was $334,729. If you watch my videos about what I love about Douglasville is its affordability. Douglasville, before the pandemic and still now is one of the most affordable counties that you can move to. So that's a good average sales price. And that's actually an increase over last February of about 4%. So we're still on the upward trend. We're just not in the 2020, 2021 where, prices were going up 20%, 24%. So we did get a lot of equity in the last 2 years in a lot of our neighborhoods. So it's a good thing if you moved in Douglasville prior to 2022. But even if you moved recently to Douglasville, you're still seeing a pretty standard appreciation of about 4% since last week. And if you're joining me, thank you. Tell me where you're joining me from. You can put it in the chat, and then put any questions that you have in the chat so I can answer them. I just want to get over some data points about moving to Douglasville. But again, thank you for joining me. All right, another thing I wanted to point out, we're still in a seller's market in Douglas County. We have 2 months supply of homes. So if no other homes were listed, all of our homes would be sold in about 2 months. And I anticipate this months of supply of homes to increase as the spring market starts. So the spring market is going to start in typically March and April, because people are preparing their home to get it sold. So it sells over the summer. And so by the time school starts, they're in their new home. So you will see an increase in listings. Cross your fingers. You will see an increase in listings, hopefully in April and May around Douglas County. And I just put, in comparison, Carroll County, they're at about 3.5 or 3.4 months of inventory, and they're entering more of a balanced market right now. And that typically means, in general, you'll have more negotiating power when they have more homes on the market. But it's definitely, we're not in those bidding wars that we were in prior months. So, it's really important for you to know that you really have a good opportunity to get a house, especially a big part of it is the higher interest rates. As of today, the average interest rate, not just in Georgia, but nationwide, was like top 7% again. And we haven't seen 7% since about November. So rates are on the upswing just because the Fed is continuing to raise interest rates, or it's anticipated that they're going to do another rate increase because inflation is still pretty high. All right, so our days on the market, on average, we're at about 53 days on the market, and most sellers are getting 97% of the sales price. So you may not get, when you're putting in an offer, you may not have to go, exactly the list price, but in some of our subdivisions, there's really, really limited inventory. I took some clients out in Douglasville over the weekend, And there were maybe in the subdivisions they were considering, there might have been 1 or 2 listings. So if there's a subdivision or a home that you really want, you still want to come in and be competitive. However, if there are no other offers on the property, then you don't have to be as competitive. And there's some ways that you can figure that out, and your agent can help you do that. But on average, Douglas County sellers are getting 97% of their list price in comparison to, a couple of months ago, or not a couple of months ago, maybe this summer, that they were getting well over the list price. Thank you guys for joining me. I know people are coming on the chat and I'm really excited. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments so I can get those answered. I'm just kind of going over people that are interested in moving here, giving them some kind of sales data so they can understand how the spring market will probably look in Douglas County. All right, we have 100, this is all February data, but we had 163 new listings in Douglas County in February. That's down 36% from last year. A big part of that is a lot of people are sitting on 2%, 3% interest rates. So to sell their house, they're going to likely, unless they're moving in with family or significantly downsizing, they're going to be spending more for their new home. So it's just really, a lot of people are just staying put for the most part. There's not a big incentive to sell their home. So inventory is still going to be tight in the county, even going into spring. I know a lot of people, like in my neighborhood, other neighborhoods are like, we're not selling, where are we going to go, basically? Because a lot of people, I know there was a story out that a lot of people couldn't afford to buy their own home today at these interest rates and at these increased prices. Again, thank you for joining me. If you're catching the replay, please put something in the comments and I will make sure I answer those as well. But if you're joining me live, go ahead and put some questions in the comments. And then on average, we're looking at about 16 showings before the home goes under contract. So you're not in a major rush, which is good. You're not in a major rush to like put an offer in so quickly. You can go, you can look. It might even be still on the market next week in this market right now. So there are average of 16 people that are seeing that home or scheduling to see that home before it goes under contract. Quentin has a question. I'm going to get to you, Quentin. Thank you for asking it. To make sure I get through this list. Okay, I think we're good. And I have some other things for you too. I'm going to tell you some spring neighborhoods that I'm excited about that are coming up, and again, answer any of your questions. So Quentin has a question. Thank you for joining me, Quentin. He said, best park for children, which is a good question. All right, so I'm a big fan of Hunter Park. So Hunter Park is off of Highway 5. It's one of the City of Douglasville parks. And we have City of Douglasville parks and you have county parks. So there's Douglas County Parks and Recreation, and then you have City of Douglasville Parks and Recreation. So I'm a big fan of Hunter Park for my kids like the park. It also has a walking trail. So if you want to get exercise, it has a lake. If you watch my video, we did the 5 fun things to do in Douglasville. Hunter Park is one of the places we highlighted. My kids played baseball and softball at Hunter Park, spring and fall. So we're a big fan of Hunter Park. So if you haven't been there, definitely go visit. And they also rent bikes. So if you don't want to like haul your bike out to Hunter Park, you can rent a bike and you could just ride it around there. So that's and it's free. Okay, it's called Pedal Pushers, I believe. So it's free for you to rent a bike there. The other parks that I'm a big fan of is Deer Lick Park. I used to live off of Fairburn Road in Douglasville. So Deer Lick has a good walking trail as well. It's around the lake, so it's really nice. And they actually have exercise activities out there. My husband and I, before we had kids in Douglas County, we were part of like the adult kickball team, and that was really fun. So I'm a big fan of Deer Lick Park, Hunter Park, and just for walking. And I have another video too, just about like if you're interested in walking trails. Now, Fowler Field, which is off in Chapel Hill, Fowler Field, they have a new park coming. So they used to have a smaller park, but they're building a new park. So I'm really excited about that. And a lot of people play soccer and just play on that field over there. So Hunter Park, Fowler Field, Deer Lick, we have really good parks and recreation. And while you're saying that, I want to highlight this really quickly. Thank you, Quentin, for that question. Thank you for joining me. I created an ultimate guide to Douglasville. I really did it with people that live here in mind, because sometimes, you have to go to the Douglas county website for things. You have to go to the Douglasville website for things. So I put one guide together that you could access. You know, who is your, if you're in the city of Douglasville, who's your ward representative, right? If you're in the, everybody's in the county, who's your commissioner, your county commissioner. So I put that all there. I put the Parks and Recreation, and I put all the links that you need into one document. So you can download that. Let me put this here. You could download that if you need it. I think it's really helpful. And again, even has a school board member. So if you're wondering who's like your school board member, everything is right there. But it does have a link to Douglas County Parks and Recreation, and it does have a link to City of Douglasville Parks and Recreation. They are different and they have different activities. So you just want to make sure you're always checking both. All right. Thank you so much for that question. Let me put this away. Got that. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm putting new videos out pretty much weekly. So if you want to stay up to date, either you're moving here or you already live here, this is a good place to be. I think we had another comment. Let me see. Tyler, there are several. He said Clinton, Hunter Park were our favorites when our children were young. Yes, I'm a big fan of Hunter Park. I think I've been out to Clinton one time, and it was, I think I went too late and it wasn't a lot of lighting out there. But so I can't speak that much about it. Oh, also I want to talk about Boundary Waters. So Boundary Waters has a really good walking trail and hiking at Boundary Waters, another lake as well, and another playground. So if you are off of Highway 92, then, you know, Boundary Waters is a good place. And they also have baseball and football fields there as well. And that's where our aquatic center is. So if you've never been to like the pool, we have some of our swim teams practice there. It's a good, definitely a great place to visit. So you have a lot of options to go to. So thank you so much, Tyler, for bringing that up. I appreciate that. So go ahead. Thank you guys for joining me. Please put any questions in the chat. I am here hopefully till 6:30. As long as you have questions, I'm here till 6:30. And again, we're kind of talking about moving to Douglasville. Any questions you have, even if you already live here, any questions that you have about living here or any amenities or, you know, anything, you could ask me in the comments. I do want to say 2 neighborhoods that I am excited to see come spring. So number one, I'm going to have to share my screen. Let me get rid of that. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. My power went out 2 times today because it wasn't even raining that hard. So hopefully everything's good right now. So I'm going to share my screen. And what I want to show is this. Okay, so Ashton Woods, I've done a video about what's coming, you know, soon to Douglasville. I have 2 videos about what are they building there. And one of them was the townhomes that were by Arbor Place Mall. So this is what they're going to look like. This is Ashton Woods is the builder. And I don't know exactly why. I think because of the size of them, it took them a long time to, I guess, get permits and get everything, you know, up and running. But they're now, I would say, 25% complete or 30% complete, at least with 2 of the structures. So this is what they're probably going to look like. This is a picture of the inside, the outside. They are going to have, so it says new homes in Douglasville. I'll go ahead and make sure I copy this for the chat as well. But the square footage is going to be between 1,500 and 1,800. And they're going to have a pool. They're going to have a cabana. All the homes are 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths. They do have one that has, so 4 different plans that you can get. They either have a 1-car garage or a 2-car garage. So for a lot of our millennials, I would think this would be a good price point for them. They start the smallest plan is going to start at $287. Remember, when they say $287, you're probably looking at about $300,000. And then they have another plan at $316, and then the highest plan is at $320. But those are all your base prices. So you'll think that they'll probably go up a little bit from there. But I wanted to share that. I'm going to stop sharing now. Hopefully I'm back. Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to share that community with you guys. Go ahead and drive. If you haven't seen it yet, I would go ahead and drive around there so you can kind of see what they're building. If you have somebody that's at that price point that's thinking about moving, that might be a good one to look at for them. It's a small community, it's not super huge. So I would think it's going to sell out spring and summer. They're not on sale yet. They're not officially putting homes under contract, but I would think it's going to be very soon. If not this month, definitely next month. So that's one that I'm excited about. Quentin has another question. It says, is it just me or are utilities higher in Douglasville? Well, I have Greystone power. I don't know. I thought everybody in Douglasville had Greystone, but I guess maybe you're comparing Greystone power to Georgia Power. In general, I would say my electric bill, and I've done like the cost of living. My home is about 4,200 square feet. There are 4 of us, and I'm thinking my last bill. Hold on for a second. I think my bills have been between like $100 and maybe like $175 at the most. And in the summer, let me say in the summer, when you're running the air, it does go up, but I've never had a bill over like $275, $290 in the summertime. And then usually in the winter, when it's just electric, we're not running the air, I would say like $90, $99. Now the cost of energy is going up. So that may change. Like, talk to me after, we're running the air 24/7 in June, July. But to me, no. But I used to live in Paulding County and they're Greystone Power as well. So I haven't really seen a major difference. But maybe somebody who's lived like in Fulton County or Gwinnett or Cherokee that may have Georgia Power can share that in the chat. But I think overall, we have gas and electric. That might make a difference. But overall, our utilities have been pretty good. I guess if you're an all gas house, then your electric bill is going to be much higher because, everything, your heat and everything is running off of electric. But I haven't experienced that. But again, we have gas and electric. It's been pretty consistent, if not a little bit more expensive, I guess, with everything else, like with inflation. But yes, very good question, Quentin. Thank you for asking that question. The other subdivision, I just have a picture of this one I'm going to show you guys. Is Traton Homes. I'm going to put this over my face real quick. So Traton Homes, they've been building this subdivision for quite a while. And all you see at this point off of Fairburn Road, all you see is the model home. So I'm interested to see their price point. Number one, I would think they're in the 400,000s at least. But I'm interested to see the price point and then them starting to build and put homes under contract, because it really doesn't take that long to build a home and they only have this model home even ready. So those are the 2 subdivisions that I'm really this spring interested in seeing starting to build and starting to sell. So if you're thinking about moving here, definitely keep an eye out for these 2 subdivisions. If you're in that price range, again, I don't know what Traton Homes has not posted their price range. I'm just based on like how that home looks, the square footage. I would think they would start in the 400,000s, but could be something else. Not sure. But as soon as they do have some price points, anything that is going to be released, I will definitely let you know. So those are the things that I wanted to definitely make sure I was sharing with you for spring. Let me think if there's anything else. I'm checking for any questions. I think I answered all the questions, but definitely put any other questions in the chat. As long as you have questions, I'll be here. I did want to say that, again, if you tried maybe last year and you got discouraged about buying a home, it's going to be definitely much easier for you to find a property. It'll be much easier for you to get some of your closing costs paid, probably, for the seller to do repairs, because there was such a seller's market that the sellers weren't willing to do pretty much anything. But it's much different. I have a closing next week and we were able to negotiate that closing pretty well for my client. So it's really an opportunity. On the other side, affordability is still going to be an issue because of the higher interest rate. So it's definitely more expensive. We haven't had a significant price decrease in Douglas County, but because homes are staying on the market longer, you do have that ability to negotiate. So that can get you your price decrease by offering maybe a little bit lower if the home has been on the market for a while. And next week, I'm definitely going to talk to sellers. So if you're a seller and you already live in Douglas County, some things that you can do to try to get your home sold quickly. I'm going to look in the chat one more time just to make sure there are no more questions. But I also put my, if you want a consultation, it's always in the description. I'm also posting it in the chat. And I also have I'm going to make sure I do a spring video on where you can, if you're going to stay, like do a staycation in Douglas County and you have children, where you can do like spring break activities. They have spring break camps all around like the county. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. And then it's really time for you to get your children enrolled in summer camps. If you got the Chapel Hill News and Reviews, the one they put in your driveway or most driveways, they put it out there. They had it, the city of Douglasville had an insert in there. So go ahead and open up the plastic and look in there. And they had a list of all of their summer camps already and some of their spring break camps. So jump ahead, get ahead of that and make sure you are registering your child early because everything is limited in space. And what's good about Douglas County and city of Douglasville camps, they're really, really affordable. So I know with inflation and all of these other things going on, you want to make sure that you're registered early. All right, Tyler says, new homes are going up in my subdivision, Hurricane Pointe, but we are well outside the city limits. Yes, I believe Curly Family Homes, you can correct me if I'm wrong, are building in Hurricane Pointe. I think that price point's about 700,000 or low 700,000. So yeah, you're outside of the city. So you're only paying those county taxes, not city taxes. That's good. But yes, they are building. They're building there. I'm going to do a video on new construction, but yeah, so that price point is a good price point, in my opinion, for at least the size of home that they're building. Again, it could be, an affordability issue because you're putting that on top of 7% interest rates. But as far as your home value, it should be good. I've done some videos about Foxhall. So you're close to that Foxhall area and then building that up. They're very popular, of course, for weddings, but they're really trying to get more people once they build that hotel and more resort amenities, that sort of thing. So I would think that's a good place to be, definitely, around Hurricane Pointe. All right, Cynthia, thank you, Tyler, for that question. If you have any other questions, but I'm pretty sure it's Curly Family Homes. They're already listed. All of the homes, I guess they're going to build, they're listed on MLS. So, and when I was meeting with my client this week, that was one of them, but they just didn't have that much to see. So that's why that's top of mind. Cynthia has a question. Hi, where are the flood zones in Douglas like? We don't have that many flood zones, but when you pull up a listing, or if you look in the tax records, it'll say if the property is in a flood zone, but we don't have that many flood zones, fortunately. So most of our neighborhoods are not in flood zones, but it could be that, you might have something that's really close to a lake or really close to some water, but in general, we're not, most of our subdivisions are not in flood zones. So when you're looking at the tax records, you're looking for an X, right? That says we're not in a flood zone, or the likelihood of flooding is very low. But the majority, even though we have a lot of lake properties or lake subdivisions, the majority of our homes are not in flood zones. So I wouldn't be that, Cynthia, thank you for the question. But yeah, I wouldn't be that concerned about being in a flood zone in Douglas County overall. But it could vary depending on where that home is. But most homes in Douglas County are not in flood zones. And that, of course, saves you money. I know Florida, on my other channel, I have a lot of, just nationwide people that watch my channel, and they're very concerned. Like the home insurance in Florida has gone significantly, increased significantly. So a lot of the people in Florida, but Florida is like the number 3 place people are moving still. So, but yeah, their insurance is very expensive, but that's something that I wouldn't be worried about in Douglasville. We're very hilly, so we're probably pretty high up in general, but good question. If you have any other questions, please put it in the chat. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching the replay and you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to it. And if you join me later, then you want to go ahead and watch some of the data that I gave about the spring market in Douglas County. But if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. This week I visited Chapel Hill Middle School. I put a post of that in my community page on this page. Really good school, really good program, really good principal over there. So it was really good to see the kids in their element at middle school. Because middle school, those of you that have followed my channel for a little while, I used to be a teacher in Paulding County and Cobb County. And, middle school is a difficult age. So, you have to make sure they're getting ready, maturing, so they're ready for high school and beyond. So it's an age that I never wanted to teach. So I really give hats off to all the teachers that are patient with middle schoolers. So it was really good to see. And if you know anything about the Chapel Hill carpool line, it is long. So those of you that live off of Chapel Hill probably are aware of that. All right. So are there any more questions? Okay. I will be live again every Thursday this month. So if you don't think about it now, I want you to join me next Thursday. It's kind of just getting you guys ready for the spring market, so you're aware of what's going on, especially in Douglas County. If you want to talk about Paulding or Carroll or Cobb, I can talk about that too, or Fulton County, I can talk about that too. Anything in this vicinity, but I will prioritize Douglas County questions. But I just wanted to, if there are no other questions, if there are, type it now. I wanted to just make sure I put my guide, a link to that in the comments. So again, it has Douglas County links and City of Douglasville links. So everything is in one place, because a lot of people I find don't know who their representatives are. They don't know how to, register their children for some of the programs at City of Douglasville or Douglas County. So I kind of just tried as much as possible to put everything in one place. So, I have all the libraries on there, just everything in one place. Any of your important phone numbers, like the hospital, so print it out, keep it as a resource, have it on your computer, because they're all live links as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, next week, 6 o'clock, we're going to talk about selling your house in Douglasville, so you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every week.